to another session with Produce on the Paintology drawing app available from the Google Play Store. And the app, if you have not, if you're the first time, it's a drawing app that focuses on teaching you art techniques. And I'm talking about art techniques that applies across the art medium. These include tones, development of form, volume, shape, all the fundamental skills of art. The tendency for digital drawing app is a focus on digital tools, and this is a little bit sad because it has detracted the focus on creating techniques, and more emphasis on using digital tools, which takes away the removal of the manual techniques of art, which is what Paintology is all about, to bring back that passion and fun of traditional into the digital medium. And how do we do that? Well, essentially you have to learn these techniques and these art techniques just like you had to learn in traditional pencil or paper, right? So that's the essence of Paintology, and you will see that I've done a number of drawings with the app and the live stream, which started a few weeks ago and is getting quite popular with the users. So I'm guessing that you are interested in following along these live stream. Even though the final drawing, I usually complete the whole drawing, it may seem a little daunting to you, so I decided to introduce something new to this live session, and that's essentially drawing in 3 parts. So I'm going to break down a drawing into 3 stages, and it should be very easy for users to follow. Excuse me. There is no drawing experience required. You just need to improve your drawing strokes and learn about some techniques. Well, learn some of the tools which develop these techniques and these methods. Not exactly tools, but methods of drawing. And the methods are what separates a good artist from the other beginner artists, and these methods are what you can finally develop in a single platform like the phone. So I typically use my phone for all my drawings, and including my finger, but in this case I'm using a stylus. This is my Note 10 phone. It's like standard size 6 something screen size. And the power of the drawing on the phone is that you have the zoom function, and I'll show you this as I do the drawing. So in order for you to paint along with me, you need to first go to paintology.com, you see here, and then go down a little bit, and then you'll find a section called Live Streams, Google Classroom, Udemy. Yeah, click on that, and then you will see that I have a list. So the 10th of September, the channel Paintology, image link. This is the image that I'm going to draw for this, and broken down into 3 stages. And I picked this specifically to learn about the block coloring and the blending that we're going to show you, and then develop this whole drawing in three stages. And then some of you may know that I have another channel. It's the Produce channel. Let's see here. This one I do also live on that. If you click on that, and then let's go back. And for that, I'm going to do also a live session. So I'll keep it short, maybe about half an hour for each. So if in case you missed the first one, I will continue to do another live stream of half an hour of another drawing on the other channel. So as you know, so I'm going to go to Paintology, and before I pick the drawing, that image that I'm going to use, in this case, this is the image I showed you. I want to show you what I did in about an hour. This drawing I did in about an hour on the phone, and it's all about tones really, and block coloring is a rapid way to get you tuned into tones, and also developing some of the techniques that I've developed, and just to bring realism to your drawing. So your drawing doesn't have to be flat two-dimensional. You can bring realism to the whole drawing with a simple drawing process that I will show you. And again, the drawing is not about tools. I keep emphasizing that. Some of you come to the app and look at the tools. They think, oh, I should have blurring, blending, blurring, blending, layers, you name it, thousands of brushes, and every kind of fill, volume, shapes. And then I'm thinking, gosh, if you need that, then the entire drawing is going to become animated, and you will probably be hard pressed to say this was a digital drawing in the first place, right? And that's because I start doing it and applying the techniques which I'm going to teach you to make this in an hour. So there's some of the others who are familiar with the other drawing apps come here and say, oh, it hasn't got this tool, hasn't got this tool, hasn't got this, but I see that there's some impressive drawings which must have taken a very, very long time, that's what I find a bit amusing, and because they have obviously no appreciation of what techniques can rapidly develop your skill sets in creative art, and that's what most artists strive for. Most the good one, I would say, the one. So if you've always been interested in drawing, didn't want the technical aspect of it to come into play like most digital apps, and you want the free form, and this is a perfect way of making such nice drawings to your taste. And this was a reference image I pulled up, and I used block coloring, the same method I'm going to show you. That's what I'm going to show you. And then just to let you know, in case you don't know, I'm a very advanced, proficient user of Photoshop, GIMP, Corel Draw, you name it, but I would never use it for drawing in this manner. I do use it a lot for manipulating images, logos, websites, you name it, all that stuff, but I would not use it. The pleasure of drawing for me comes from being lost in the moment. How can you get lost in the moment if you're always going back and forth to the tools? That's the reason why you have Paintology, all the tools. If you've been wondering why all the tools are right on your palette, it is primarily because of the speed. But they're on the top menu, and this is not going to change. Have you noticed the other apps, to select a color, you still click and then click again. And then if you look at the number of presses I do in a particular drawing, it could be hundreds or thousands, or thousands, and if I put a press to get to the color, that's adding a number of steps to my drawing, which is what I don't want. The pleasure of drawing should be when you're given a pencil and paper and away you go. No tools, no other tools required, just your creativity. So let's get that image that we're going to draw. Here it is, here. And then let's get far away. And before I do that, I'd also want to show you some other items. The app is available here, as you can see, on the Google Play Store, and you'll see these screenshots. And then I do have an active Quora platform, which you can find, paintology.quora.com here, and you can see all the drawings that I've done, and then I usually post them, okay, and then show you how easy it is to learn techniques and to draw using techniques. So in this drawing, we're going to spend 20 minutes to half an hour called the block coloring. What is the block coloring? I'm just going to go over it again. Hopefully your users will be able to finally get it. It's very, very easy. Think of this trace bar over there. What is it? Well, if you ever put a tracing paper over a particular drawing, you can see the image behind it, but depending on how light the tracing paper is, the image will be somewhat like this or like that. If it's very thin and light, it could show you pretty much all the image. Yeah, it's really think of it like a tracing paper, right? So the way this operates is in the top half is an important step. This midpoint tells you that if the cursor is in the top half, the color picker will always select the color. Look at that. Do you see on the bottom right how the color changed? Now I go closer. See it change to lighter pink, and go to the darker areas, dark, okay? And then go here, see, different color. So an image, it fundamentally contains hundreds or thousands of tones, and for an artist to replicate that is an impossibility. But oil artists are good at blending, and they are able to mix the colors and get the tones they're looking for. It's all about tones, and block coloring really fine-tunes your eye for tones, and with that knowledge and skills you can make great drawings so fast like I did. And I don't come from an art background. Of my actual specialties in technology, the technology behind this drawing app. Yeah, so what we have here, so we have this top half, and now this bottom half is your drawing canvas. So let's pick the color picker again. Look, it's white. Everywhere I go it's white. Why is that? Because you ain't got anything in there, have you? Right, let me pick a color. This color, and then this color. Right, so let me stay on this this half of the trace bar, and then let's pick a color. White. Let's pick another color. There's nothing to do with the reference image. Let's pick that purple color now. Let's pick that green. Let's go somewhere else. Pick that white, because that's what your drawing canvas is. So you're transferring the what is in the reference image into a drawing on your canvas here. That's essentially it. So block coloring, let's undo all that. Block coloring, we're going to use the line brush, although there are other brushes which you can play with. But remember, always keep in mind that you need to develop art techniques, and by developing art techniques, digital art doesn't have to look animated, created with tools and all that. It will look natural like this form of drawing. So we're going to stay on the top half here, and this is how we're going to do. We're going to, first of all, this is what I want to achieve. You've got to ask yourself, what do you want to achieve? Well, look at that purple haze going all the way to the top. This dark, I'm going to pick a black color. there's purple, dark purple haze around here, right? And then there's a light purple here, and there's dark land patch here, and then a land patch here, and then a road here, and then there's a little bit of dark and trees there. It's these contrasting images that makes, and there's tones here. See, these are the tones I can see here. So this block coloring will allow us to pick these colors and transfer the basic foundational colors to these, depending on what brush size you have. So instead of undoing it, I'm going to go back and pick the image again. My paintings. Okay, so I'm going to first set it just above half point, and then I'm going to select 20%, 21% and see if that works. Select the color picker, then select this, and then just simply go over the drawing like this, and just keep doing it. Keep alternating color picker, then this, color picker, then this. And if you want to do it in bigger blocks, you can change if you want 30% if you want, yeah, and or even bigger. Block coloring, block coloring, and you ask yourself, why am I doing this? Well, it's very simple. I'm trying to pick the tones that lies directly under that region. Block coloring here, block coloring, and then block in here, and then block here. Just pick the colors that, and remember your trace bar is just above the halfway point, and the reason I have it there is because I can see the underlying image while I do the block coloring. And then as you keep doing this, your mind will start tuning in to the tones. Look at that, look how the colors have changed down this all the way to the land area. See that? How it's changed? Again, we'll do the same thing here. Color it, and just keep doing that. Just keep doing that. Don't worry about the finishing. Oh, I gotta get this drawing right first time. That is a huge mistake which beginners will make, because first of all, they've been bombarded with art by good artists and all they see is a magical drawing process happening right in front of their eyes, and they're like mystified with how is that? It must be a super talent or something. But remember, these artists have had to work their way up. They weren't born with a paintbrush in their fingers, were they? You know, they had to learn. Right, so here, and then I'm just getting these colors, and you'll notice that these hues, this particular hue, look at that, it's like we're not even going to get close to representing all that complex separation of the clouds and hues. But I'm going to show you, because remember, I want to keep this to about half an hour or so, and then continue. Just keep doing that there, and then just pick up the tones that's localized here, and then here, and then here. Okay, so what have we got? We got this. It's nothing like that, but it actually has some representation of the tones. That's all we're interested in. You might look at this and say, oh wow, that looks like a choppy, but come on, it's a drawing process. Do Do you think I got to the beech tree with from 0 to 1 just like that? You know, starting from the left and doing hyperrealistic and then going. That's that's not the way I draw, and it's not pleasurable for me to draw like that. I would. This is the fun way of drawing, and it's a drawing process. So this is the process. If you want to draw like me and get even beyond, and I'd like to see a lot of people go beyond me and teach me a few more techniques. I'm learning all the time. So let's go here and say, okay, you can see that the tones that I've drawn are resembling some of the tones. Now look at this color palette. Look at all the different hues you see. You may think that some of them are similar, but in reality they're very different. There's slight tonal shifts of that purple that you can't see. Okay, so we got this, and now we're going to say, well, how do we get this land? And that's what we're going to do now. We're going to cover, and there's a good reason why I picked this. Look at that, we've still got a very big brush. In fact, I'm going to reduce that a little bit because I can handle the tones that are showing at a smaller scale. Yeah, that's a good size. So I've got it at 17%. And then I'm going to just take some of these tones that I can see that are shifting in that underlying. So, and then I'm still picking a different color. And then again, you'll probably say to yourself, it's all black, for heaven's sake, why are you picking color tone? No, you'll see that it varies, it changes. And I'm going to show you this as I keep drawing. Even this lengthy pass that I'm making is not enough to capture. Look at that. Look. See it? Do you see that? How the shift in the image, how the shift in the tones. That's what you'll come to appreciate as you draw this way. Okay? I can see tones going up here, right? If you look close enough. So that's what I'm going to do. Just select this here, and I'm not worried of the details and the trees just on the foreground. Right here, and then here, then here. They're all tonal variations going on, and you'll see it. Look at that, you can even make out what I've done, isn't it? The tonal variation there. So what have we got here? Let's look at it. Yes, so you see the tonal variation? Look at our color palette. You think they all look the same. If you think they all look the same, you are just beginning. You haven't fully understood the next level of drawing where you need to go. And that's fine. I'm not saying that's bad because you're beginning. So what you need to continue on this path and differentiate these tones and get to a level where your mind will be tuned into tones, which is fundamental to drawing. Tones and values. How many times have you heard all artists, beginner artists, tones and values? Tones and values and their drawing techniques. You know, they go on about it, but when it comes to digital, they're completely lost, fumbling for words because they don't truly understand what techniques are. And the reason why I draw vastly different to other digital artists is because I have adapted these techniques from the traditional medium. I have come from a traditional art background. I've drawn large canvases with knife, impasto, watercolor, you name it. I've tried all of it. And oils, I'm sorry, but I just can't wait for the oil to dry for me to make good. I prefer the acrylics actually. It's the way I am. It's the nature of my personality anyway. So there you are. So here we have this. Let's save this. Okay. And now what we're going to do is we're going to now lay down this smaller brush. I'm going to introduce you to the smaller brush. Yeah, a tinier brush, 5 point. And then go and then just do these purples. So it's really tuning this. Don't worry about anything else. Just see this. Can you just barely see it? And the reason why I picked this is for a lot of good reasons. It's because the contrasting tones is really tuning your brain to appreciate these tones, and because they're so muted, you know. So I picked a 4.67 and I'm picking out tones that I can see on the reference image. I'm not paying attention to what I put down with my large brush. I'm just simply laying down this horizon using this just tones, color picker tones. Just what I'm doing for the time being. Okay, just going across the horizon. And then what do we have here? If there's something you can't see that resembles there, look at that. That's like a barn, isn't it? It's like a barn. So we're gonna draw that. Now we can draw that, isn't it? And then let's see, we've got that barn, isn't it? Yeah, look at that barn. So it's really in the distance. And here is the power of why your drawing can look so good on a phone, is because look at the, I'm at 560%. That's like multiplying it by what, 5 times the 6-inch, 5, 6, 30-inch. So you can see the power of the phone, yeah? So I'm just going across. These are supposed to be like tree lines, but I'm not really interested in the details yet. I'm just laying down the first structure of the drawing. Okay, and so you should have something similar to what I have here, yeah? So I've just laid down the horizontal region so I don't cross that. It's like a border, right, which I've laid between the sky and the yeah. So now that we're in the sky and the land, now that you're gonna say, wow, how are you gonna get to this? So let's save this first. So always get into the habit of saving it, right? So how do you get into this? Well, you keep looking at your drawing and the drawing and the image. So keep looking at it and say, so this is an essential part of the drawing process I'm going to talk about. And what is the drawing process? The drawing process says you're not a beginner. You don't want to remain a beginner. You want to increase your art techniques and skills, and to do that, you need to know what the drawing process is. The drawing process says that if I didn't bring my artwork to this point in time here, right, I wouldn't know what the next step is, right? And without knowing the next step, you remain. If you don't think there are steps involved in the drawing process, you know, and if you don't get your head around thinking the many steps to get to the drawing, you don't possibly think that the drawing I showed you earlier got me from 0 to A just through a magical process. It hasn't. It's a technique, and this is what I'm showing you. So the drawing process involves steps that could be broken down into 30, 40 or even less, 5, 10, you name it. Line drawing is like 2 steps. You do a line and you don't really, you just go across it. It's very easy to do, so you'll find some line drawing that I've made with the Paintology app. Now you're going to come at this stage, and then you're going to look at your drawing and say, aha, I see that the clouds there are too like here. I just way to this here, just too rigid. What can I do to soften it? Good question. Now you're thinking. Now, because you got here, you can now start thinking of how to blend this. So I'm going to show you a blending technique that uses a smaller brush, right? So I go at 10%, and now I'm going to show here. It's very easy. You have, that's the joint area, and what the tone I'm picking is exactly that tone there. So if I were to just go along this is a quick form of maintaining a close drawing to the tonal values that are in the image itself. So look what I'm doing here. I'm just simply using the smaller brush to tap out these large rigid lines with the actual tones beneath in that image. Look, see, I've almost diffused that out like that, and then you can see it, what it looks like. So this is a form of bringing tonal variations in the sky, because remember we picked a very large brush, right? But now what we're doing is we are now really local and picking these tighter tones in that local region to give the effect of, see, it's a bit better, isn't it? Now you can see here that we have got some tonal variations there, so just go dab really quickly, nothing, just get that, just so we're picking the actual tones that are true to this underlying reference image here. Same thing here. So here, so whenever you see a high contrasting image area, just take the brush size down, and this is technique 1. Take the large brush size down to as small as possible and just keep dabbing away. No drawing experience required. Right, I'm just dabbing away, getting the tinier tones that are now in that region. This is block coloring, which I call. So you could essentially be a hyperrealist artist by picking a brush size of 0.3 and going across all the way through the image, spending several hours doing that. That's essentially what hyperrealists do, but we don't want to do that. It's uninteresting. Maybe the final artwork is going to look dramatic, but it's uninteresting, isn't it? So this is the way that you'll find much satisfaction. You see now there, here, that is quite, we want to diffuse that with our localized region of colors that exists there. And then notice that my brush strokes are going left and right. It's not going too far out, because we know the shade, the tones change from top to bottom, but then again it doesn't, because look, we have the darker here, dark here, and then a light here. Okay, so that tunes your mind to the tones, really does increase. It's like having a bionic eyes. that is the first step of trying to replicate this cloud. Look, don't go too far, just stay localized and the tones will change to the color. Because I picked the dark color, I step from here. Remember when earlier it went all the way across the screen? The tonal variations, look, dark here, and then I would have brought the dark brush color here. Makes sense, right? So now I'm really tightening up these tonal variations. And keeping it small. So yeah, I've become very smaller. So I'm applying the sort of like the pixelated method of picking out these tones, but I'm still maintaining speed because I don't want to get bogged down with this repetitive task. You know, you want to move on, right? You want to do just enough. So I've just improved the sky with the smaller brush and defining here, probably like that, and down here, so we can make it look close to the sky that we're trying to do, right? So it changes so quickly that you'll find that if you go over it again, it just changes again. So what have we got here? Yeah, we've got something better, isn't it? Look, now it's telling us we've got these dark regions here, and then it's following somewhat. So let's keep doing that while we're, oops, there we're going to pick it up. Right, and then just bring out some of the local tones here so we can do the next stage of the shading, which I'm going to show you, and that will probably be our part one until tomorrow when we do the next part. Bring the color picker. Look at that. See how it changes? Because every time I pick a local color and then I keep moving it, it just becomes different, isn't it? That shows you what the tonal variations around that area is huge. So that means you need to go even smaller to pick up the tones. But look at that. We've somewhat picked up at these tones. Look, they're beautiful tones. If you look at that there around here, I just noticed that there's some blue hazy tones. I'm just going to keep it very tight. Right here. Right here. Look how it changed. Look at that. Look at all that tones we picked up. It's almost like we picked up these tones, and that's really helping us to find out what the composition of this drawing is. Okay, let's look here now. So we came from a very blocky to something that looks great, isn't it? Look at that. So in this exercise I'm going to show you the next part of the tonal. So we're going to stick, we're not going to worry about replicating this drawing, obviously, image exactly, but here it goes. Here is something that will seem a little magical to you. Let's go down in density. You've been wondering what this is all about, yeah? Let's go down, and I've been using it more and more as I'm teaching. And then let's stick to 8%, 20%, and then let's pick this color, and I'm on my drawing side. And then let me pick this and just go over it. Look at that. See that? How it's blended. You probably think this is, wow, this is just totally magical. And then I pick this color and then I just dab. Right. Looks like almost like being blended. You can't see any of the lines, can you? And here. So we're going to make it pass like this. And why is this working? You're probably thinking, what's so magical about this? Let me make a bit more so you can see how this comes into play. And you can see how this is all being diffused. You're thinking, how is this working? It's almost like a cloudy effect, and you can take it down even more so you have more bandwidth to work with. It takes a bit longer, but you have more control, just like an HB pencil. I'm going to show you, but first of all, let me just show you how this works. Look, you see that? It's almost like, do this part. That's techniques for you, right? It's not using any tools, special tools. It's developing like techniques. Look, I'm gonna just cover this. Look at that. It's using a swirly effect, and then just merging these colors. So I can show you how this works. Right. So just follow these strokes and just play with it. Don't be afraid. It's not like you have to buy another piece of paper to practice on. This is digital. You can just open it up again, repeat. Now I'm going to show you what we have achieved with little effort. See how the left side compares with the right side. So what is this? Basically, and then we can check the image and we can even make it better. We're nowhere near there. We've done the second blending type, which is using the density. So this one, what is this? Well, if you go to 100%, you're basically, with one stroke, you'll be creating that color. But if you go to 50%, you need like a couple of strokes to get to this color here. This, okay? But if you're using even there, you need to go over it a few times to get to that color, which means that it's found tonal values. This is like another tonal values that works to your advantage, especially blending, yeah? So if you go 100% and go right down, it's actually matching the tones and overlaying that tone over the other color, a very lighter tone, giving the impression that they are going to be blended. But the proof is in the pudding. You really have to practice this. So let me just go over here and do the same thing. Look, try this middle section here. Right, look, I'm going to pick a color again, show you there, and I got my about 13%. I mean, it's just randomly, and then here, look, perfect blending. And then here, I'm going to pick that color, I'm going to pick this color, and I haven't changed the opacity density, and look. Not working here. Okay, look. There. That's it. Blended. Now here, this color, blend it there. So you can hardly see the blending that's going on. So I might need to add a little bit more. There. That's it. taking it out. So practice like this. Right, there can you see it? I'm using more. Again, here you can use this adjacent color. Switch between the colors if you want to. No biggie. There. See how it blended that? And then here. And then you pick the. If you want this darker to go, then yeah, go ahead. Right, there you are. So here. Right, so picking the adjacent colors, and just with a few strokes, you should be blending that there, see? Just a beautiful blend. There you can hardly see. Right, there. And then we're going to blend that. Right, see that? There. So I want you guys to practice this. And then I'm going to bring you to the next step. Let's go here. See what an improvement we've made on the top? You see it? Keep working your way as I've shown you, including here. Right? You can select a bigger size. Experiment. Just keep it a bit bigger if you have to. Bring it down. Right, look, I'm just picking the adjacent brush, removing these hard lines. I'm even doing it from here. You get used to it. Look at that, how we've receded that back. You see it? Now you can see it truly in practice. You see just one form, and then here, look, take it down even more because it's a bit lighter area. How you did that so easily. Can you imagine using tools to do that? Just impossible, isn't it? Let's take this back here, and then let's bring this black. Yeah, look at that. What a change that is, isn't it? It almost looks like it's a sky, but it's not quite there in my context, but maybe for you. So that's what I wanted to show you, and that's how I'll end part 1. And what I want you to do is obviously save it, and if you would like for me to comment on it, and of course you would want some feedback of your efforts, why don't you post it to community? So click on shift and then look, community there, post. Right, and then if you have to, it will give you a login to sign up with Google. So I'm going to say, you'll see it in the community part. Blending. With Paintology. Okay, and this is a blending exercise, obviously. Blending of a purple sky using block coloring. A sky with block coloring, isn't it? Block. Let me put that there. Okay, and then I haven't got the tabs linked to it, so blog tutorial. Then port 1. Okay, and then we publish it. Okay, so if you publish it, it's posting. So basically, it's very easy. You sign up with Google or Facebook and you post it, and it should be published. Let me see, it must have been published. I think I saved that, didn't I? Yep, save, okay. And then we go back to the home screen just to check. Community. There you are. So I published it. So I would like you to publish this. Is my actually photo of my daughter, not me, in case you think so. Yeah. And so I'd like you to go and post it if you really want feedback. If you really want to learn, I'm here to help you. And if there's not quite only a handful of people, so you can take full advantage of this handful of people who are commenting. So if you're, and I'll be happy to look at it when we do part 2 of our drawing and tomorrow. Okay, so let's go back to my paintings and I'll show you this one. So we've achieved this far. So part 2 is I'm going to do the foreground here, and again I'll give you a reason why I picked this is because it's very forgiving. Think about it. The eyes just needs to see enough to make out the path, the ground on the left, and this path here that's approaching, and then of course we need to define this horizontal area here. So part 2 I'll show you how to go about further improving this sky, a little bit of effort, and then I'd like to see your work, and then I can help you and comment and provide you with important feedback. You see, it wasn't difficult to tell, it wasn't rocket science or anything, it's fairly easy. So I hope to see you again on tomorrow on part 2, and if you're really driven and keen, just wait a few minutes while I get on board on the Produce channel and show you another similar type drawing. So give me like 10 minutes for that. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and like I said, I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Thank you.